excited to introduce Coach Al, head coach of the University of Toledo men's tennis team. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Doing fine. Hope yeah, I'm doing as well as I can be expected, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't know. Many people probably don't know. They probably see my post, but I'm a proud alumni of the University of Toledo men's tennis team. Played for Coach Al for 4 years. I've known Coach now. I was actually thinking back. It's been about 17 or 18 years that I've known you, Coach. I still remember you coming to the Mingus Creek Racket Club in Battle Creek, Michigan. 9 o'clock on a November night and watching me practice. So it's funny almost 18 years later that we're still connected, and I definitely look up to you, and you're a mentor of mine, and just really appreciate the relationship. So thanks for jumping on here.
well, you're welcome, but I mean, I'm very proud of you and always happy to do anything we can do together, man.
Yeah,
Anything.
I appreciate that. And for people who are going to watch this, Coach, do you have just a quick high level on how long you've been at Toledo, and how long you've been in coaching?
Yeah, well, coaching's been my career. I was a club coach for about with juniors for about 8 or 10 years, I think. Then I took this job at Division III Capital University, and I realized that I like that the college coaching, um, you know, lane like a lot. Um, then the Toledo job came. It was only half-time job. I got the job, and now, like 20 some years later, I don't know if you know this, I'm the longest tenured coach in the Rocket in all coaches ever.
Wow, wow.
So
It's been 20, how many years?
like 24.
Wow, wow, wow. And how, I mean, I'm sure it's gone fast, right? And many different changes, as you progress throughout your coaching career, would you say?
Yes, it's gone very fast. Obviously I remember everybody, that we've had, but I do forget a lot of times who was on whose team. Sometimes I don't even know that, like we have our alumni thing, alumni weekends, and the guys will come back, and sometimes I might introduce guys to each other, and they might go like, "Coach, we were on the same team for like 2 years, man." I know this. So, uh, but yeah, it has flown by. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And this year has been, or yeah, this year in general has probably been one of the craziest years that we all can remember, especially with college sports being shaken up, and us all living through a real life history lesson with this pandemic. For you,
Yeah.
what types of challenges have you seen just come with the pandemic as it relates to your team, or college tennis in general?
Yeah, I'm just like everything else. I mean, just a combination of unknowns changing, constantly, not really knowing anything. You can't plan. Um, um, you can't get plans at all. It seems like so many things have been impacted. Uh, it's it's crazy. Every time we had conversation with the team over the summer, you know, I would try to give them updates, and we didn't get updates from the school. I don't think any schools. Then the updates were changing, and then everything, and then NCAA made decisions, scholarship rollovers, um, and it just it's been just that way the whole, like, since mid March.
Yeah. And would you say this is, of all the years you've coached, the 24 years, has this been a year like you've never seen before, or have you had other years where, you know, something happened and it really stuck out to you?
Well, there's a lot of things that happened that stuck out, but I mean, this year, I mean, I think for all of us, it's been, there's so much uncertainty and, uneasiness that this one certainly stands out. And the year's not, we're really not into it. We've trained this fall, but we haven't competed. summer or spring got cut short. Summer, everyone was, I wrote something, a note this week. I went to the office only like 3 times between May and in July. I only went there even 3 times, like to grab something, water my plant. And like I went there in May, and the whole parking lot right by tennis totally empty. In May, and then I went back like 2 months later, same thing. It's like it was just nuts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and you mentioned just in terms of planning, is it's very hard to do that. And I know just having a small core group of guys back on campus for you, how do you go about the day-to-day planning, or how do you go about goal setting with the team, especially with so much uncertainty?
yeah, we have 10 guys on the roster, and we had 6 guys that are from Europe, and they all stayed home and chose to stay home this fall and just do online this semester. So we had 4 guys, and we pretty much had a normal training weeks this fall without competition. But what I did was, I think it helped me keep focused, and I think it helped them. Is I usually pretty much every week we had a theme, and I let them know on Sunday, Saturday or Sunday. Here's what our kind of topic is going to be, our main topic. So we had always addressed most everything, but then all of our activities kind of came back to, we're getting better at this, this week. This is our main focus. And as we progress through the week, then that's how, I did most of my activities, drills, play, scoring, whatever we were doing, based on that theme. So I think that was really helpful. Now, in the meantime, we had we had 2 guys actually had COVID, and then the other 2 guys at different times were out because of contact tracing. They had a quarantine, because their roommate or housemate or whatever. So, among those, like, I think 9 weeks where we were on a full, like a 20-hour per week schedule, I think we had 5, or about around 5 of them. We only had 3 guys. So then that kind of puts a crimp in your, some of your competing, some of your doubles, obviously, and some of the stuff you wanted to do. But anyway, we stayed on track pretty well with our themes for the week, and I think it worked out well.
Yeah, and just thinking back to my playing days, one of the things I always felt you did a good job of is coming up with new themes and keeping them fresh, right? It keeps the guys' mentality fresh as well. What was your thought process on coming up with weekly themes this year? Like, where did you lean or look for or lean towards to find that inspiration?
I mean, a lot of it, I think, is reactionary. It's sort of like when you get into the regular season. A lot of it's reactionary off how things have gone, and then you pick up tendencies and you say, hey, we need to close out matches better, or we need to get a lot more aggressive in doubles, or we need to, our serve percentage, is very poor, or we're not aggressive enough when we should be, and key points in matches. So, you pick up these ideas, and then those are your foundational things that you want to try to improve as the week goes on. And then a week goes on, you try to build things from the basics of the beginning of the week, building blocks, where it's more fundamental stuff, and then you layer it onto the play pattern stuff, and then toward the end, you're actually competing, and hopefully the guys are incorporating those things that you were back starting Monday, you were detailing, and then they've put it into their full game, singles, doubles, or whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah, I really like that, because I mean, as I just think about it, I'm like, how do you keep things fresh and new? especially now where guys can show up and really, go after it. I think the motivation for most people, including myself, was, at the end of your training, there was a measure. You were going to play a tournament, or you were going to play a duel, or whatever it may be, and then you could really see your work in live action. But going through the fall where you're measuring yourself by these things, it's different for guys, but it's good to see that it was kept fresh and new, and really allowed them to continue to progress. And I'm sure, just like any team, it gets hard at times, right? But I think that's where you come in and have those amazing things that really allows guys to continue to progress and stay motivated. And just seeing some of the workouts you guys do, I follow you guys on Instagram, of course, and it still looks fun. And a lot of the guys still follow it. And at times we wish we had a day or two back. Not, I won't say the full year, because we're getting up there, Coach. But we still would love to train and do those things. So it's a good to see.
Did you see yesterday's turkey leg challenge?
So that struck a chord with me, because that, as you said, you have new themes. Some of those big bucket themes have been the same way for
Passed down. I know, yeah, over the years.
the
Yeah.
turkey leg
Yeah.
challenge. It brought back a lot of smiles, but it also brought back a lot of pain. But it looked fun. It looked fun, even from the lift the wings and some of those other things. I was like, wow. And then to still see Steve Murray, Coach Murray, still getting after it with the guys, and still looks like he looked when I arrived as a freshman in 2004. He still looks the same, right? So it's good to see that.
Yeah. Our guys did, I think, a really good job this fall with considering the circumstances of coming out. They were motivated, and they really focused on getting better, and they worked together, and they worked very hard. So especially, I think, Ernie and Cole, we had a couple of guys with a lot of experience, and they really set a great tone.
Yeah. And I think that's important, especially when you have guys who have been there as long as they set the tone. I mean, it goes a long way, especially with younger guys, and that leadership piece. And I know that's something you've always preached, especially in the past. So I think that's good to see as well. And then as you think about the dual season coming up and all the uncertainty, I know you have guys in Europe, you have guys on campus. How do you go about goal setting, or what's your thought process on goal setting, especially with just the level of uncertainty that is around us all?
Well, I mean, we're gonna push out some workouts for the guys, and we kind of talked today a little bit about just trying to over the next. It's going to be like 2 months still, really, of a break here, and around there. So we just talked about trying to stay healthy and getting as fit as you can. Those are the main things. So we'll push out some content for them to do. And I know for the most part, I think tennis is they'll be able to play and practice, but sometimes the other things are a little harder to do. So we'll push out some things for them, and we get back. I know that they miss each other. We got we've got a couple of new guys coming, and they're excited. We've got one new guy on campus, and the guys miss each other. I know when they get back, they're going to be ready to give each other the business and get it, really start competing and pushing. And it's going to be a real competitive group. So I know that when they show up, they're going to be like, okay, what's this guy done? Now for 8 months, 10 months, what has this guy done? What's he done? What have I done?
Yeah.
So that's what you want from a team, and obviously, you push through that for your common cause of trying to get better and win matches.
Yeah, and that keeps you motivated, because you never want to be that guy who shows up and you didn't put in the work. I mean, it'll show quickly. And so I always think that's one thing that motivated guys I played with, and guys after me, is just being able to see, what their teammates are doing, and wanting to also do the same, if not more. So I couldn't agree more with you. And I know, to your point, they'll be real excited to get back on campus and be back and train together, and just get into
Yeah.
the routine. And I think it's all in the in the routine where it's really going to make guys better.
Yeah, we miss them. They miss school and they miss hanging out and they miss, everything. So it's but I think it's the same for all of us,
Yeah,
so
yeah, absolutely. One more question.
I want to just tell you that your logo, the colors of your logo are just unbelievably just, I mean, I couldn't have picked colors better than that right there.
What's funny?
Amazing.
I got some inspiration from a very good team in Toledo, Ohio. True story. Shannon, my wife, helped me come up with the name, logo, the colors, everything. So I wish I could take a lot of the credit, but I owe a lot of credit to her. She helped the brand become official.
As I've said, she has amazing taste.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, the last question I'll ask you, just given the pandemic, as it relates to coaching, what's one thing you've learned this year coaching through a pandemic that you'll be able to take with you for years to come?
As a coach, I thought about, you sent the question and that was a tough one. I I I think the easy answer is I wish that it has made me a little bit more adaptable because of so many things you can't, like, I love, planning is like a huge thing for me, and you can sometimes you can plan a little bit now, but most of the time it you just have to play pa- plan on it just falling through. I mean, so I think that adaptability is the biggest thing that if maybe I've improved my adaptability 1% or two, but that would be that's not good enough, but it's probably what's come about from this year. But what they say, um, uh, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. So, I guess that's, what we all get from this year if we get through it.
Yeah, and I'll say it sounds like just also taking it one day at a time because things are changing so quickly. To your point, and even as I think about myself, it's you went from planning out weeks and months to just what are you going to do tomorrow and what does that look like? Because it's changing so much. And for me, it's been really good just kind of taking things one day at a time and take them as they come. And to your point, just be adaptable and although I'm a man of routine, like being able to switch it up because things are switching so quickly. So I couldn't agree more. And I think as you go through your season, there'll be other, moments where you'll have to adapt because things could be going well and one thing could change the next day. And I think it's changing like never before. So hopefully, as time progresses, we can get back to some sort of normalcy. But until then, we continue to take it one day at a time.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we can have our kind of big picture, but then the next day that could all get left in the dust. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, where can everybody follow the Rockets on social? The tennis team, that is.
Social is for men's tennis is Toledo M Tennis
Okay, nice.
on Instagram, and that's probably our main platform day to day. So
I like that.
Toledo M Tennis.
Awesome. And are you doing a lot of the content?
Right now, I am. Yeah, I pretty much I'm doing it now. Right now, this fall, we have a lot of stuff going on at school, and yeah, I'm kind of the guy. We're just in that transition stage, and then when we get started, I know we've got folks in the office that are going to be more involved. So
Content.
we'll get it going.
You're a content
What's
creator.
that?
You're a content creator.
Well, I mean, not not that much, but I haven't made any huge mistakes so far. I don't think so. That's good.
Yeah, but that's the way you learn, is by mistakes. So,
Yeah.
well, Coach, this has been really great. Not only just to catch up with you, but to just see how things are going and your mindset as you go into, January of 2021. And I'm sure a lot of people, will definitely appreciate seeing this. So I really appreciate the time, and I look forward to not only continue to follow you guys, but seeing what happens in the winter as well as the spring, and all the alums, I should say, will be rooting you guys on.
Yeah. And I think we're going to be over your way, a little bit. So maybe you can come by and see us, you know.
If you are and
Yeah.
fans are allowed, I will be there.
Yeah. If fans are allowed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the big if, right?
Yeah. Chris, thanks a lot for having me, man.